Alright, so far we have the power supply installed, we have the motherboard installed, and we have the RAM installed. There's several other components to be put in here before we connect everything up. The next thing we're going to install is the 1.5 terabyte Western Digital hard drive, which is right here before you, all sealed up. And I'm just going to cut it open here. Again, make sure I'm grounded. Okay, now there are 7 bays for hard drives in this. You can use the toolless one here, where you put these rails on the side. Or you can actually mount it in. There's 2 bays here where you can actually just mount it in. I kind of trust mounting it with screws better because the rails are kind of they kind of jiggle a little, and it kind of concerns me because you know, you don't want your hard drive, you know, you got a spinning plate in there, and you don't want the hard drive to get off balance or anything. You could really damage it. So I really want it solid in there. So I'm just gonna, I'll show that to you again. Take the drive. And try not to bump your motherboard here. Just take your drive, and I'm going to have the cords pointing backwards here, and I'm just going to slide it into the top slot here, and all your screw holes should match up there. And in this case we have these thumb screws here which make things easier, so you can still screw them down, but you don't need any tools with it. So there's actually 6 points where you have to screw it down. You could screw it down with a Phillips screwdriver. I don't know if I'm actually going to do that yet. We'll see if this keeps it nice and tight. I might do a little bit with that. Just to make sure everything's nice and snug. Alright, you don't need to tighten them down. I'm just you know, put the tension with your finger. Now, since I'm mounting it this way, I'm actually going to have to open up the other side of the case and get some screws in on that side too. So might as well just show that to you right now, because we're going to have to open up the other side anyway. We're going to remove the other side here. And we just have some thumb screws here. And in this case, I think I had still one of the thumb screws, there we go, on the other side here. There we go. Remove the other side. Alright, this is the other side where you have the cord management. So you're going to put all your cords back here because it's not going to be seen. Here's the CPU cutout here. Nice and large here. We're going to be using that later when we mount the cooler on here. But on this side, I'll show you. We have, here's where the hard drive is over here. So we're going to have to put 3 more thumb screws in there so that we tighten it down, so that it's not going anywhere. And we'll actually run the cords for it back here later, most likely, if they're longer. That way we keep everything nice and clean in the case. And let's see, number 2. Like I said, I want to make sure this hard drive does not get damaged, because being 1.5 terabytes, I'm going to use it for a lot of storage. And it's going to have the operating system on it too. But tighten down nicely with just my fingers. I don't need to use a Phillips screwdriver or anything like that. And we're all set. So we're going to put it back on its side, and we're going to work on the other end of it again. We mounted the power supply, the motherboard, and the hard drive. Alright, the next thing we're going to do here is put in my DVD drive. The drive I chose is an ASUS DVD drive. I think it's 24 times write speed. I don't need a Blu-ray drive. I hardly use a drive to begin with, so I just picked this one up. In order to mount it, what we have to do is we have to pull the front bezel off. So you're supposed to grab under here and pop it loose. Okay? And pull it down to the side here. And just slide this in. So, I don't know if you can see it here. Yeah, you'll be able to see it. Just make sure it's, right side up. And I'm going to slide it into the top bay here. And then we're going to close this up again. And then we're going to mount it in with the screws. So we're going to snap it down. There we go. Nice and snug in. And then we're going to turn it on its side here. Okay. I just turned this on its side and I had to remove the top fan because it was interfering with the drive here. So, I don't know if I'll be able to get it back in here because it's probably going to still interfere here. Yeah. Okay. So, bad design on this case. Putting this drive up top here interferes with this fan area here, which is not a huge deal because I can use this fan opening here. So, I'll put that up in a second, but what I want to do is I want to make sure that this is mounted tightly. Again, we have our thumb screws. Just need 4 of these. And just like the hard drive, we're going to have to turn it over and mount it from there as well. So let's turn this over. Alright, so we got the other side here. Just have to mount the thumb screws and we're good to go. Kind of a tight fit up here, but I got it done. Okay, so let's recap here. Let's first of all put this on its other side. Alright, let's recap. We have the power supply installed, the motherboard installed, the hard drive installed, and the DVD drive installed. We had to remove the fan because the DVD drive interfered with it. Oh, we also have the RAM installed, by the way. So this won't fit here anymore, just because of bad case design. So we are going to put this fan up top here, where it's not going to interfere with anything. As I mentioned before, you could put a 140 millimeter fan in here. It's a 120 millimeter fan, which is sufficient for my needs. And again, it came with the case, so why not? There is actually another fan on the window itself of the case. So far, I like the case, even though this design flaw here prevented me from putting the fan in the original position I chose, but not a big deal.